Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about what the Denver Broncos offseason plan should look like, and it's going to involve a lot about the quarterback position. Russell Wilson, what happens to him? Does he stay? Do you cut him? Do you trade him? And if he leaves, if you get rid of Russell Wilson, who is Russell Wilson's replacement in Denver? And I really like the Broncos going into the draft and drafting a quarterback and someone who, yes, just lost in the national championship, but I think Michael Penix Jr. would be an amazing fit for the Denver Broncos going in to this year's draft. And the Broncos sitting at number 12 in this year's draft, I think it would be a good option for them to let Penix fall to them at number 12, which I do believe Penix will be available for the Broncos at pick number 12. And once they get that chance, I think that it'd be a great pick for the Broncos to get Michael Penix Jr. Has some arm strength. Yes, he just got destroyed in the national championship, but he was facing the best defense in the nation and still threw for over 250 passing yards. Did throw 2 interceptions, though. And I think he'd be a great fit for the Broncos. Another move I think the Broncos should make is if you decide to cut Russell Wilson, I would sign Jameis Winston, quarterback, to be like a little bit of a mentor to Michael Penix Jr., maybe even start off the season, be the starting quarterback for the first couple weeks of the season for the Denver Broncos. And then once he starts to make a couple of mistakes or they feel like Michael Penix Jr. is ready to take over the reins, that Jameis Winston then goes to the bench, becomes the backup quarterback, and is a mentor for Michael Penix Jr. And Sean Payton, head coach, knows Winston from New Orleans. They were with each other in New Orleans, so that would make sense right there. I don't know if there's a lot of other moves you can make throughout free agency. I mean, you have your cap space isn't great. Maybe your cap space opens up once Russell Wilson is cut or traded away. But after you trade away Russell Wilson, I make moves that can best help the team. If that's I don't know what moves you'd make, but 2 moves. If I'm the Broncos right now, let go of Russ. Let that behind you. Start with a new future while you can in this year's draft, and draft Michael Penix Jr. Get him a good backup who can be a good mentor in Jameis Winston. And even if you go through a bad year in 2024 for the Broncos, you have a good future with a bright quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. Yes, he just lost in the national championship, but I think he still will be a good NFL quarterback, and he will have a good defense. The Broncos have a good defense. I think with weapons, with the wide receiver position, that will be a question, but you still have Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, so we will have 2 good wide receivers in Jeudy and Sutton. So I would really like Michael Penix Jr. on the Broncos. I think he'd have success. I think it'd take him a year or 2 to figure things out, but with a smart head coach and Sean Payton, I think Michael Penix Jr. would have success, and I think it'd be a good move for the Broncos if Penix Jr. could fall to them at 12, or hell, if they even have to trade up for him. I think there is an opening for the Broncos to potentially trade up to number 9. The Bears sitting at number 9. You could potentially, if the Bears are willing to fall down to number 12, maybe you trade up to number 9. I would, if I'm the Broncos at number 12, I would be a little worried or concerned about, the Minnesota Vikings at number 11, knowing that with Kirk Cousins getting up there in age and just having a severe injury, that they might want to draft a quarterback. So, with having a talented wide receiver like Justin Jefferson, once Kirk Cousins retires or goes elsewhere, I think he is going to re-sign on a new contract this year, but once he decides to go elsewhere, the Vikings might want to draft a quarterback for the future once Kirk is gone, and Michael Penix Jr. might be a good replacement for Kirk. So if the Broncos want to jump over the Vikings, I think an option for the Broncos is to jump up and go to number 9. But let's see what happens with the Broncos this offseason. I think a big thing is going to be what happens with Russell Wilson, whether he stays or they decide to trade him or cut him. Or if they decide to trade him, where do they trade him to and what do they get for him? I don't think it would be much, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Where do you think Russ should go, and who do you think the Broncos should replace him with at quarterback, and what are the moves you think the Broncos should make this offseason? Let me know your thoughts on the video and let me know your thoughts on the Broncos in the comment section, and peace out.